So our sharing for this evening will be on the death of Moses. And the death of Moses is an encounter that is written in the book of Deuteronomy chapter 34. Now, this is one funeral service that most of us have not taken so keen interest to digesting and understanding what really occurred. Moses, having served God for hundreds of years, always looking forward to be part of the promised land, Canaan, happened to not have entered Canaan for a slight mistake that he made because of the stubbornness that the children of Israel had. Just to break down his CV, Moses is one of the people who was adopted as a baby born from the Israelites. The Egyptians had adopted him as if he was theirs. He grew up in a royal kingly palace. Fast forward, he finds an Egyptian fighting his fellow and kills him, puts him to death. He goes into hiding until God re-identifies him to say, "Come, I have a mission for you to save my people from this slavery." This is the same Moses we know who now comes back with eloquence that God needed to use a man, sharpened his tongue, and also gave him power to lead the children of Israel. In the wilderness, the children of Israel murmured against God to the very extent that God wanted to wipe out the entire universe. In Exodus, we find how that Moses intercedes for the children of Israel, goes to the mountaintop for 40 days and 40 nights, just before his fast is complete to atone for the children of Israel. He comes down and finds people committing idolatry, and God is upset and tells Moses to step aside because God wanted to destroy the Israelites. And Moses, with his compassion and love for people, he had a unique leadership quality. He shields the children of Israel from death by saying, "Leave them. These ones I died for. These ones I sacrificed my life for." And so we see how that Moses now exhibits his empathy, his love for the children of Israel. And now we see how that Moses is so much loved by God. Quickly, his CV goes down to a point when the children of Israel are asking for water, and God, being represented by the rock in the wilderness, just asks Moses to hit it once, signifying that God or Christ will die once for humanity. And a simple mistake is created here. Moses hits the rock twice, and God is upset with Moses. And that is how that Moses could not see the promised land. So sometimes when God is trying to punish his children, he may not necessarily have punished them directly, but will hit them where it hurts the most by taking those that we love in society that we've given so much trouble in hearkening. So at this moment, we find a funeral service where Moses has to die alone. God now allows Moses to bid farewell. In his farewell, firstly, he's allowed to train this young man, Joshua, to succeed him. He gives him everything he needs to learn to lead the children of Israel. And sometimes we could even forget that he was no longer to lead the children of Israel. He would take things personal. He gives them his very best of guidance. Later on, we see that God now allows Moses to go for a burial service. And by the way, till date, the Israelites did not know where Moses was buried, for the only sake that God knew how weak they were, that they would idolize the graveyard of Moses. And now Moses goes to this plain desert, awaiting to die. And before he dies, God gives him a scenario of what his good past deeds were, how that he was picked as a boy, a man trained to lead the children of Israel, how that they were moved into the wilderness, guided by a cloud and a fire in the night. And now the time came when Moses became disobedient just by striking twice instead of once. And God now brings him to this future where he is shown a good that is yet to come, shows him the birth of Christ yet to come, how that the Son of Man will be rejected by men who he came to save, and later on dies and resurrects for the entire universe. At that point, he's even shown a scenario of how Moses was later to comfort the Son of Man in Gethsemane prior to the death of the Son of Man to save humanity. We see how that Moses has been given the past of his good deeds and the future. And now Moses had to die. Moses died without the children of Israel getting to know where he was even buried. And the children of Israel mourned for about 30 to about 90 days, wondering where they could find him, but they couldn't. But that's just a CV that you could learn about this gallant man, Moses. What are the lessons behind? The lessons, depending on what perspective you would want to learn it from. Number one, just gives us a scenery of how God sometimes deals with his children when they become stubborn and incorrigible. Instead of disciplining them, he becomes so tired to the very extent that he will take away those that we look and reckon upon. And so we are implored and encouraged that, especially for our leaders, to saving their lives, we admonish to hearken even unto them, so that we avoid losing those that we deem or high of esteem in our lives. So we see how that Moses' funeral service punished the Israelites more than they thought God would punish them by smiting them, whether with plagues, because this man who could guide them, confident they had in life, that they wished to have even the New Jerusalem and the New Canaan, was no longer with them. And so my key thought in this whole Bible reading is how that we need to hold those that we esteem high, our pastors, our leaders, our church leaders, by saving them of deaths that shouldn't come, because God has his own way of disciplining. And so I thought I could share this. I hope we've learned one or two things, and we have a good evening.